So Leute, ich möchte etwas klarstellen über was gestern Abend auf Markus Lanz gesagt wurde, über Eis und Amerika und Trump. Der berühmte Elmar Thewissen, der Amerika-Kenner, die war wieder bei Markus Lanz. Das ist ein Propagandist erste Klasse, lass mir das sagen. Fast alles, was der Mann dort erzählt bei Markus Lanz, ist ein fucking Lüge. Er weiß nicht, worüber er redet. Er ist ideologisch aufgeladen und macht seine Journalismus basiert auf diese Ideologie. Genau wie eigentlich alle anderen Gäste von Markus Lanz, die sind auch fast alle die gleiche Ideologie. Es ist fast immer die gleichen Leute mit die gleiche Gesinnung auf diese Sendung. Also deswegen möchte ich euch etwas klarstellen über Eis in Amerika und die Remigration von alle illegale Zuwanderer in Amerika. Mache ich aber auf Englisch, wie immer. So, ICE, or let's start with this. America is not Germany, right? America is not Europe. America is now under the leader of Donald Trump, which I am miserably disappointed by. Absolutely. Trump, I was 100% for Trump. I think what Trump is doing to the Europeans is great. I think pushing them under pressure to save our freedom of speech here and our freedom to vote for who we want to vote for, the AFD, for example. I think that America's doing a good job with that. But Trump is not getting shit done at home, right? And there's a lot of reasons for this, but a lot of it is the people around him, the people in the administration, the Republican Party are all basically just cowards. And they don't have what it takes, and they don't want to have what it takes to get the job done that needs to be done to get America back to the place that it once was. But aside from all that, let's just talk about the deportations. Donald Trump was elected in America because a vast majority of Americans want the illegal immigrants out of the country. And I know they like to say here, and also in the States, they're trying to do this. They're trying to say, yeah, they want the illegals out, but only the criminals. No, no. Illegal immigration is a drain on the economy of the country where it's happening. We know all about that here in Germany. Let's not lie. The shit that's going on in America should be happening here in Europe. We should be getting all of these Islamist terrorists out of the country. And then after they're gone, then we get all the people that just walked in illegally and we get them out too. All the people collecting welfare in Germany on my money need to go. Right? If they're not German, if they're not living here, if they haven't paid into the system by working, you can't just be a refugee and get free money that I pay for. That's insane. They got to go. I don't care how long they've been here illegally. I don't give a fuck. They got to go. But that's, of course, never going to happen because we have weak-ass people as politicians. Weak-ass people that subjugate themselves to the will of a bunch of bureaucrats that aren't elected in Brussels. And so, therefore, nothing will ever get done in these countries, unless maybe the AFD gets in. And even then, I'm wondering how much they're actually going to be able to do. They're the only choice Germany has, right, to do anything. But are they going to be able to actually get things done that are necessary to be done? I don't know. We're going to find out, hopefully, the next election. So let's remember, Donald Trump was elected to get the illegal immigrants out of the country. And they can cry all they want about, well, yeah, but we didn't mean the illegals that are that have been there for 40 years and had kids and blah, blah. No, we did. Everybody did. Everybody. As many that are illegal have got to go for a couple reasons. You can't say illegal immigrants got to go, but this one can stay and this family can stay, but they got to go. That's never going to work. That's completely unfair. It's not a complete application of the law. And either you have laws or you fucking don't. Okay? And the law in America is, whether Biden upheld that law or not, or all the presidents before Trump upheld that law or not, is irrelevant. The law is that you can't come into the country illegally and stay. Period. It doesn't matter what your fucking sad story is. It doesn't matter how many kids you had. It doesn't matter. Right? Illegal is illegal, and the Americans want them out. Now, what's happening in Minnesota, where 2 people have now been shot, because of their own stupidity, okay? I get it. The ICE guys aren't trained well enough. 100%. I agree with that. Most cops aren't trained well enough. In the States, and also here in Germany, the cops are not trained enough because there's not enough money spent on their training. My opinion is cops should have black belts in jiu-jitsu. Cops should be able to defuse a situation using their hands. They shouldn't have to shoot every time some threat comes up. It's crazy. But that said, in America, the law says that if a cop feels threatened, right, they can use deadly force. That's real clear. I know Marcus Lutz and Ermal Terwazin and all these fuckers that think they know everything, these pompous, fucking arrogant cocksuckers that sit up there and lecture everybody about everything, actually, but especially about America, which clearly even Elmar Terwazin, who lives there, doesn't know shit about, right? So the law is, if a cop feels threatened, they have the right to use deadly force. You can agree with that, you can disagree with it. That's not my point. That's the law. Right? They have immunity. Unlike in Germany, where they have to get shot in the head first, then call for permission to be able to shoot back. And by that time, they're fucking dead. And so is everybody else they were trying to protect. So this system, not so great either. Let's be honest, okay? ICE would not have to go into these cities if the state and city governments were cooperating with the federal government. You see what I'm saying? What these cities like Minnesota, like in Minnesota, are doing, in Minneapolis, are doing, is they are basically telling the Bundesregierung, right? Let's put it in the name of Germany. Let's say I commit a crime in Baden-Württemberg, right? And I flee to Bayern, and the Bundesregierung, the federal police, want to get me. They know where I'm at, but I'm in Bayern, right? And the Bayern police are saying to the Bundespolice, no, you can't have him. We're going to protect him, and you can't get him. And do you really think that the German Bundespolizei would just go, well, okay, well, then you win. You think that's how that works? Well, if it works like that here, that's fucking stupid. In America, it doesn't work like that. The way it works is, and the reason why Obama was able to deport so many people is because the blue states, the Democrat states, were working with the federal government. When they arrested an illegal alien for another crime, they held that person in jail until ICE could come to the jail, pick them up, put them on a fucking bus, and get their ass back to wherever they came from. That's how that's supposed to work. What these blue states are doing is they are insurrecting the federal government. They are refusing to work with the federal government. They are kicking out child rapists onto the street again to make sure that they don't get picked up by ICE. And so ICE is forced to go into these communities and into these cities to get these people out. That is what they're upholding the law. If these governors like Tim Walz and the mayors like Jacob Frey, who basically thinks he's a Somalian, a white Somalian, if they would just do their fucking job and work with the federal government to get illegals out of the country, it wouldn't be a problem. But they're not doing that. So they're forcing the federal government to come in and do the job. That's how that is. The second thing is, you are, as a citizen, of course you're allowed to protest. What this Pretty guy, Alex Pretty, and this other woman that got shot by trying to run over a cop in her car, what they're doing is they're not just standing on the street protesting with signs. No, they are actively obstructing police and blocking traffic. On Marcus Lutz, again, they say, well, this guy, this Alex guy that got killed, he wasn't doing anything illegal. I'll tell you something. First of all, it's illegal for a non-authorized person to block or reroute traffic on open roads. They can't do that. That's illegal. Second, it's illegal to put your hands on a federal cop, right? That means that when the cop pushed that woman into the snow, right? And then Alex Pretty, if you've watched the videos, go watch it. Alex Pretty puts his hands on the cop to put himself between him and the woman. And you just can't do that. Now, let me tell you, I also can imagine a number of situations in which I would say, okay, I'm going to have to go out and physically fight against the government. If, for example, here in Europe, they ever try to force vaccinations on people because the WHO said so, and I say no, and then they're sending cops with doctors around the neighborhoods to forcibly inject people with something, I would also take up arms and I would physically, that's the hill I'm willing to die on, right? So for these people that are fighting ICE and fighting the cops on the open streets, they feel so strongly about keeping the illegal criminal aliens in the country that they're willing to risk their own lives to fight against the police trying to get rid of them or trying to arrest them. That's their choice. They have the right to do that. I would do it if, like I said, if the cops and the doctors come rolling around through the neighborhoods to try and forcibly inject people with some sort of weird vaccine like with COVID, then I would also physically fight against it, right? But I would also know that I'm putting myself in a situation that could and probably will end up deadly for me, right? These people are not stupid. They know that fighting with police and obstructing police and blocking police from getting to whoever they want to arrest or whatever, they know that's illegal. Just Daniel or Alex Pretty putting his hands on that cop. He doesn't have to hurt the cop. He just touching the cop is an 8-year prison sentence. It's a federal crime. Now you notice how Marcus Lantz and fucking goofball fucking what's his name, Wolfgang, what's his name? The fucking guy, the fucking journalist guy. The guy thinks he's a journalist. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The guy on Marcus Lantz. They leave that part out. Right? They say, oh, Alex Pretty didn't do anything wrong. He was totally within his rights. He had the right to carry a gun. He does have the right to carry a gun. He sure does. Absolutely. He has the right to have that gun at a protest. He's not protesting, though. He's obstructing police, right? That's a difference. Protesting is standing there and holding up signs, and when the police tell you to get out of the fucking way, you move. Now, I know it's not illegal to block traffic here in Germany because they allow the fucking Klimakleber and all these fuckers to just block the streets for hours and days. They get to block airports and airplanes. Nothing ever happens. Oh, maybe once in a while, okay? I can't say never. But basically, they get a free pass. Not in America. And I agree with America. They shouldn't get a free pass. It should be illegal to block and obstruct traffic, no matter what your fucking gripe is, right? So he was doing numerous illegal things. And when he gets in between a cop and somebody the cop is trying to get to or arrest, then he is putting himself in danger. Renee Good, the other woman, tried to drive away. I don't think she tried to run over the cop, but the cop thought she was trying to run over him. That's all that matters legally, right? The cop was in fear for his life, period. That's all that matters. You can like it or hate it. It doesn't matter. That is all that matters. So these people got their own asses killed, right? And let me tell you what's going on. Now, look, the Trump administration is greatly embellishing, which means exaggerating, the Alex Pretty guy, right? They're saying that he was there to kill officers and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's an insinuation. You don't know that he was there to kill officers. If he would have been there to kill officers, then he probably would have hid behind something with a long gun and shot them from a distance. He wouldn't have not pulled his gun while engaging with police. He didn't pull his gun. He didn't try to pull his gun. What happened with him was an unfortunate situation. The cops should, I don't think that the cops should have shot and killed the guy, but it happens a lot of times that when people resist arrest or have a weapon on them, don't do what they're being told. In America, it's known to everybody. I mean, parents have the talk with their kids when they're little, and they say, look, if you ever get pulled over by police, because kids start driving when they're 16 there, right? If you ever get pulled over by police, put your hands on the steering wheel where they can see them. Don't fucking move and do whatever they say. It doesn't matter if they're wrong. It doesn't matter if you think they're wrong. We'll work all that shit out later. Don't fucking go against what they're saying. The reason for that is we in America know that these cops are young, not trained well, nervous, and scared, and they have guns. So I don't want to put myself in a situation that a cop is going to get the wrong idea and get nervous and pop me just because I made the wrong movement at the wrong time. So your best bet, if you get approached by the police in America, is to shut the fuck up, put your hands on the steering wheel, and wait and do what they say. If they're wrong, you'll work that out in court. It's better to be falsely in jail than fucking a bullet in your head. So, that these people in America that are obstructing the police, they know the situation, right? They know that. And yet they are still choosing to put themselves in danger, put the people around them in danger, and that's their choice. But they have to live with the consequences of that choice, right? So again, if the police were coming around the neighborhoods here in Germany with doctors, I would have to fight physically against them to stop them from injecting me, my neighbors, my friends, my family. I would do it. But I would know that that could be a very dangerous situation for me. And then I would have to make that choice. Is it worth it or is it not worth it? These people think it's worth it to put their lives on the line for illegal immigrants. That's up to them. They're free to do that. They're free people. But they have to live with the consequences of what they do. Right? And here in Europe, it's like, it's like the helicopter parenting where parents try to shield their children from every negative consequence they could ever imagine. But that's not getting those kids ready for the real world. In the real world, you suffer consequences. In the real world, things don't always go the way you want. In the real world, you have to accept the fact that you have to live with the consequences of your actions. So the best way to raise kids is to let them make mistakes. Don't fucking shield them from consequences and let them pay the price if they make those mistakes. Now, what Europe does is it babies its citizens. We're like little children, and Ursula von der Leyen is our mommy, right? That's basically what the setup is here. And Ursula von der Leyen is going to try to shield all the people that believe in her from any consequences for their actions. That's not the way to run a country, right? We're adults, right? These people are adults. And in America, the country is run with the idea that the people who are in it are adults, right? And that they make adult decisions. Basically, that's where we're at in America. I'm sorry we're not there here in Germany or in the rest of Europe, where the people get treated like tiny little children who don't know what to vote for, don't know how to heat their houses, don't know what to eat. You know what I'm saying? They need to be told and spoon-fed every little fucking thing. And when they make big mistakes, they get shielded. They get welfare. And, oh, well, you don't have to work and it's okay. Other people will work so you don't have to, okay? That's the way Europe is run. Well, that's bullshit. So that's it, guys. What Marcus Lutz and his fucking panel of people, like usual, they're fucking lying or they're saying shit that they don't know anything about. It's probably a mixture of both. But rarely are the people on Marcus Lutz, especially Elmar Thewissen. Elmar Thewissen is a fucking liar, okay? He's a Trump-hating fucking liar. You can't trust a thing that fucking propaganda says. Out of his mouth comes basically only bullshit, propaganda, or lies. Or he just talks out of his ass saying shit he knows nothing about. Like last night on Marcus Lutz, right? It's disgusting watching these people talk, really. So I just wanted to put it out there for y'all that basically that's the way it is in America. And God, to be honest, Trump should be even harder. He should not allow these states to go against what the objective is. He should not allow the governors of these states to say, fuck you, federal government. We're going to harbor and protect illegal aliens in this state. And if you want them, come and fucking get them. Okay, we'll come and get them. That's how it works. But instead, you guys don't have to worry if you're European and don't agree with me, because Trump is a big pussy. And now he's backing down. You know what I'm saying? He's backing down to the Governor Walz in Minnesota. It's fucking horrible. It's disgusting. And he's basically got nothing done in America. Yeah, he's good in Iran, and he's good for Ukraine, and he's good for fucking Greenland, and he's busy with all that shit because that's important to him. But America, MAGA, that doesn't seem to be his thing anymore. I don't know what happened, but it doesn't. So he's going to back down. He's going to stop deporting illegal immigrants in Minnesota. And every time, now the left knows, now the Democrats know, oh, if we raise enough hell, if we cause enough trouble, if we cause enough drama, we win. And that's right, they do. Because the right will never be in a position where they're actually willing to fight for what they believe in, what they stand for. No, they stay at home and they go out and go, oh, well, we have families and I have children and I have jobs. And so we can't do that, guys. We're not supported by a bunch of left-wing NGOs. Hey, okay, then you lose. Then they're going to win and you're going to lose, and that's the fucking end of it. Right? That's the fucking end of it. So that's how it is. These two people Renee Good, and what's his face, even though if you had well-trained officers that didn't grab for their gun every fucking time something happens, right? In a perfect world, that would be the way it is. Then he might not have gotten killed. But he was in the wrong. She, Renee Good, was in the wrong. They were obstructing police. Do you really think that if the German police stop you in your car, right, and you decide to drive off, right, and you go, fuck you, you can't arrest me, fuck off, try to drive off, do you think they're going to just go, well, they got away? Is that, they might not shoot you. They might not be allowed to shoot a moving car here in Germany. I believe they're probably not, right? But they're not going to let it go. There's going to be consequences, right? And the same thing counts for America. And the consequences could be deadly. So they know that. Everybody there knows that. Elmar Theosin doesn't know that, even though he lives there. He lives in some sort of dream world. He lives in some sort of dream world where things are all fucking rainbows and trans and lefties and no Trumps and everybody is under some sort of left-wing ideological madness. That's what they want, right? But, yeah, that's how it is. I'm just telling you. What you heard on Marcus Lunch yesterday, the 27th of January, that was the thing of Marcus Lunch. Go to the ZDF Mediathek. You can watch it. But what they are saying is complete bullshit, okay? Complete bullshit. These two people that got killed by ICE, they got themselves into that situation point blank. And look, do you think that getting a bunch of illegals who don't want to go out of the country is going to go without any deaths, any violence? No, it's not. And that's exactly the reason why they're never going to get rid of any of the fucking illegal immigrants or any immigrants, no matter what they do, no matter how many of your kids they rape, no matter how much Islamic terror they seed over the country. They're never going to get rid of any of them because they're scared of confrontation. They're pussy people. The people running the show in Germany are pussy people. They're wimpy, legs crossed like fucking, they have no balls, pussy people that won't do shit for you. But they will protect the fuck out of some illegals. That's who they are. That's who the people in America on the street are fighting ICE. That's Friedrich Merz and all of these establishment politicians, all the lefties, the SPD, the Green Party, fucking what's his name with the fucking bald head and long hair. Like, it looks totally ridiculous. What's his name? Oh man, the green guy. Fuck. I forgot what his name is, but he looks ridiculous. How can you be bald and have long hair at the fucking same time? Everybody knows who I'm talking about. That's the guy, that's the people fighting the cops on the street against ICE. It's people like that have thought their whole life they're never going to face any consequences for anything that happens to them, and they can just do whatever they want. Well, that day has ended in America when Donald Trump became president. At least we thought so. It looks right now like they can do whatever they want, because it looks right now like Trump is just going to back down and go, well, this is bad press, this is bad PR, this looks bad, makes me look bad, so we're just going to quit, and we're going to let the illegals sit there. I mean, they could go after all the companies hiring illegal immigrants. They won't do that, though. Why not? That would get rid of a whole bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? If a bunch of these companies and the owners of the companies went to prison because they got a factory full of illegals working for them on cheap, if they went to prison, that would fucking end that shit in a heartbeat. Trump's administration apparently doesn't think that's smart. Well, they probably think it's smart, but those people are the donors, the donor class. They don't want to piss them off, so they're going to let that just go. So there's a lot of things that Trump's administration could do differently, getting these illegals out, that would be much more effective, right? But the fact is, we as citizens can't just go obstruct police officers. And for everybody that says, but they're just peacefully protesting, they're citizen watchers. That's another fucking thing that Elmar Theosin said. He's like, oh, well, he's legal citizen watch. No, he's not. He's not legal shit. He doesn't have a fucking badge. He wasn't fucking knighted or any shit like that. He's not legal shit. Yes, you can film the cops, and that's fine. You, however, cannot obstruct traffic. You can't stop cars. You can't reroute cars to everywhere. You can't just stop cars in the street and ask the people for their fucking papers if you're not a cop. And you can't touch a fucking federal cop. You can't put yourself in between a cop and the person he's trying to arrest to try to assist that person. That you cannot do. There will be consequences, whether you like it or not. So that's the story, people. Don't let yourself get fucking twisted what Marcus Luntz and this fucking cocksucker Elmar Theosin says, because they're both full of shit morons, right? They're both full of shit morons, right? I'm not right about everything, but you can believe me on this one, okay? You can believe me on this one. They're fucking morons, okay? And they don't know what they're talking about. They want to paint Trump in a bad light no matter what, just like the media in America, just like the Democrats, just like the left, and just like these agitators that are out on the street trying to protect illegal child rapists and keep them in the country. It's madness, okay? But let me tell you, what's happening in America right now needs to happen here in Germany and in the rest of Europe right now too. But it never will. And you guys are going to be second-class citizens of your own fucking countries. Congratulations. Now, hopefully, you vote the right way before it's too late and get the AFD in there. And God, you better give them a majority. You better give them the total majority, because if they're stuck to any other party, they're not going to be able to do a fucking thing. So vote good, vote right, and vote hard. And make sure that the AFD gets full majority and full power so that no more bullshit with these establishment pussies has to be done. And that'll give them the best chance they have of actually making some sort of change. Let's bring ICE to Europe. That's my view. All right, guys. I thought I'd clear that up for y'all.